Today I'm walking you through the electrical upgrades that I think are absolutely worth the money if you have it in your budget when building a new construction home in Northeast Florida, and the ones that I would probably skip entirely. Now, specifically today, I'm talking about outlets and lighting. I'm going to do a separate video on the low voltage upgrades, but I'll mention it a little bit in this video. So subscribe for that full video, and let's hop into this one. Before we get into these specific upgrades, I want to give you one important piece of context about how the electrical and the low voltage process works with most builders here in Northeast Florida. Now, a lot of builders, they use a third-party company to run these electrical and low voltage meetings. So you do your design center appointment, and then separately, you're going to sit down either in person or on a video call with the electrical contractor to go through your options. And here's something that's just honestly worth knowing. So some of these people running these meetings, they're going to be commission based, meaning they're going to sell you on the best possible things to buy. And the more they sell, the more they make. So before you walk in, just ask them directly, do you make more money if I spend more in this meeting? Just know that going into the meeting. Now, the reason getting this right is so critical is just very simple. Once that drywall goes up, everything behind those walls is locked in. So changing an outlet location or adding a speaker wire after closing means cutting into your drywall, patching it, repainting, and that cost to fix it later is just 10 times more than what it would have cost to do it during the build. So this is where I spend a lot of time preparing with buyers for these meetings before they ever even walk in. Now, outdoor electrical, what's worth it and what's not? Let me start outside, because in Northeast Florida, we live outside. If you're coming from a northern state where the back patio gets used like 4 times a year and then gets covered in snow, this is not your life anymore here in Florida. Your back patio is going to be used, basically year round. If you get it screened in, you'll probably have it open too during summertime. You need to plan for it electrically. The first one, which I know is important to my northern clients, is going to be those holiday light outlets in the eaves of your home. This is a plug that goes up in the overhang of your house, so you can plug in your exterior lighting without the cords kind of draping over the roof. A lot of people wire this on a switch inside the home so you can control it from indoors or put a timer on it. Second is going to be the back patio. I would add at minimum 3 plugs on your back patio. One at TV height on the solid wall or up high so you can mount a TV on that covered lanai. One on for your pellet smoker or electric grill on the far end of the patio so the cord is not running across your entertainment space. And then one dedicated for string lights if you're planning to run them around your patio or pergola area. In Northeast Florida, you're gonna entertain outside. You wanna plan for it now. Third on the outside is floodlights in the corners of your home and covering your backyard. You can either have them install the floodlights directly or just run the wiring and power there and install your own cameras later. Either way, the wiring needs to go in now before the drywall actually closes. Drop a comment below. What is the one outdoor feature you wish you had wired for in your last home or your current one? So let's talk about your indoor electrical outlets. What's worth it? Let's go inside and talk about, I want to be specific here. I'm not talking about the standard outlets that, code requires. I'm talking about the extra outlets in specific places that make a massive difference in how your home actually functions. The first one's going to be the TV height outlets in every bedroom. In Northeast Florida, new construction homes, almost everybody mounts their TVs. If you want a clean look with no cords running down the wall, you need a plug at TV height, typically 60 to 72 inches, depending on the size of your TV and your mount height. When you add this outlet, ask the builder about a conduit at the same time. Conduits it's a piece of plastic tubing that runs inside the wall from the TV outlet down to the floor. You can run it with HDMI cables, the Cat 6, basically whatever you need to fit through a tube so that everything is hidden behind the wall. Do this in every bedroom, your living room, and any media or game room that you have. Kitchen outlets, if you're doing a full slab backsplash where the counter material, it continues up the wall. You don't want to have standard outlets cutting through that slab. Some builders will move these outlets up into the underside of the upper cabinets. On the island, most builders now are putting those island outlets as a pop-up on the top of the island, just due to some code changes. Personally, I would wait until after closing and have an electrician put them in on the side of the island instead. You already have power in the island for the dishwasher. I don't think you should cut a hole in your quartz or your granite countertop for a pop-up outlet if you don't have to, right? Laundry room and pantry outlets at vacuum height. If you use a stick vacuum, and most people in Florida do, put a plug at about 60 inches so you can hang the vacuum on the wall, charge it without seeing the cord. It's a very small thing, but it's a huge quality of life difference. In your primary bathroom, put a plug behind the toilet if you're thinking about like a smart toilet for like a bidet. And then you want to get outlets on the sides of your vanity mirrors if you want that light flanking coming down. Very popular in Northeast Florida right now. Floor outlets in the living room. This one is the most expensive plug on this list because they actually cut into your slab. But if you have a large open living area and you want to power a lamp in the middle of your room without running a cord across your floor, it's definitely worth the cost. Garage outlets, as many as you can get. Add a dedicated 20 amp circuit for a deep freezer or a second refrigerator. Add a ceiling outlet for a mounted camera. And if you have any plans to run a workshop or add an accessory structure on the property, add in communities like Iron Branch where they have acreage. That's a real consideration. So ask about adding a secondary amp service to your main panel now. Now, the outlets that I would say to skip, or what I would personally skip or just wait on, the EV charger rough-in. If you have an electrical vehicle right now, go ahead and add it. If you don't and you have no immediate plans to get one, I would honestly just wait. In your garage, the panel is accessible, and adding that circuit after the fact is honestly a lot more straightforward than any other parts of the home. The whole home generator disconnection here. So if you live in Northeast Florida and you are serious about like storm preparedness, this is one that's actually worth thinking about. Hurricane season is real. I'm never going to say it's not, but if you're not planning to buy a generator in the near future, I wouldn't pay for that disconnect now. What I would consider instead is having them stub out like a gas line near where you would put a generator, especially if your home runs on like natural gas or propane. That gas line is pretty cheap to do during the build and nearly impossible to do cleanly after the fact. Hey, quick pause. If you've been watching my videos for a while and you're thinking, man, I think maybe I want to move to Florida, or if you're a local and you're thinking, I kind of want a new construction home, but you're just not sure where to start, give me a call, send me an email, let's just chat. No pressure, but I help people literally every single day decide if moving to Florida or buying new construction even makes sense for your family. I'd love to have the talk with you as well. There's no pressure, just a guy who loves the Lord and people, and I'm here to help when you are ready. Okay, let's keep the video going. So let me talk about lighting, because this is an area where spending a little bit more in the right places makes a significant difference in how your home is going to look and feel. The first one I would say would be the ceiling fan wiring in every room. In Northeast Florida, ceiling fans, I don't know, I'd say they're non-optional. We run them quite a bit during the year. Make sure every room in your covered lanai is blocked and wired for a ceiling fan. Most builders do this as a standard, but you'd want to make sure you confirm that. And here's where I would save money. Don't pay the builder to actually install the ceiling fan fixture. Just pay for the blocking and the wiring. Buy and install it on your own after closing. You'll get a better fan for less money than the builder's packaging options anyway. It's just better that way. Builders typically put in the minimum number of recessed lights required. I would add extra recessed lights in your primary bedroom, your living room, your study, and your media room. In the living room, if you have one light in the center, I would add like 4 around the perimeter. These are relatively inexpensive to add during the build, and they wire back to one switch. So do it now because the cost after closing is significantly higher. Let's talk about under cabinet lighting in the kitchen. I like doing this with the builder specifically because it gets wired to a dedicated switch on the wall. You can add the plug-in strip versions yourself later, but you end up drilling into your cabinets and the cord situation is it doesn't look good. Having it already wired to a switch is the right way to do this. Bathroom secondary lights. If your secondary bathrooms and your primary have a single light above the mirror, just add one more disc over the tub or the shower area. When the shower curtain or glass is closed, that one single light, it just leaves the rest of the bathroom dark. Closet lights. Check every closet in your floor plan. Not all builders wire lights into every closet as a standard, but it could make all the difference. Now here's some lighting that I would say totally skip. Smart switches and dimmers from the builder themselves. The builder is going to offer you dimmer switches and smart switch packages. I would say just pass on all of them if you're looking to save some money. Smart switches is one of the easiest electrical upgrades to do yourself after closing, and there are so many ecosystems available. You pick the one that works for your setup, and then you just swap them out, right? You don't need to pay the builder premium for switches that you can replace yourself for less money in an afternoon. Just if you get all the wiring right, you are definitely fine. So do the switches on your own terms after closing. So let me close this video with a few things that are just specific to building in Northeast Florida that makes this consideration different from anywhere else. Hurricane season preparedness. If you are coming from a northern state, you've not really had to think about this before. In Northeast Florida, hurricane season runs from June through November, and having the power infrastructure that supports a generator, I mean, it's honestly super valuable. At minimum, have them just stub out a gas line near where you would want to put a generator if your home runs on natural gas or propane. That gas line stub is pretty cheap to do during the build and really hard to do cleanly after the fact. You want to think about your outdoor living infrastructure. In Northeast Florida, your back patio and your outdoor space is basically a functional room of your home 12 months a year. Plan the electrical for it the same way that you would plan the electrical for an indoor room. You know, you're thinking about your TV, string lights, audio, floodlights, all of it. Buyers from northern states, they consistently underestimate how much they're actually going to use that outdoor space, and then they regret not planning for it electrically. Smart AC controllers. Most new construction homes in Northeast Florida, they come with standard thermostats. A smart thermostat is one of the easiest things to add yourself after closing. And in this Florida climate where your AC, I mean, honestly, it's running like what, 9 to 10 months of the year. The energy savings are definitely real. I would not pay the builder to do this. Swap it out yourself after closing. Your garage infrastructure. In Northeast Florida, the garage is a functional workspace. It's where you put your golf cart. For a lot of buyers, especially people coming from other states who are used to the garage for storage, you know, tools and utility spaces, add as many outlets as you can. Add a dedicated freezer circuit, add a ceiling outlet for a camera, and if you have plans at all for a backyard structure in the future, just ask about a secondary amp service at the panel now. You guys, the electrical and the low voltage meeting is one of the most important appointments in your entire new construction process. You want to get it right, and you will move into a home that is wired for the life that you actually want to live here in Northeast Florida. If you miss it, you're going to be cutting into your drywall. You're going to be paying an electrician, 3 times what it would have cost during the build. So the summary is really simple. Spend your money on the things that are hard to change later. If you're getting ready for a new construction build in Northeast Florida, or you're considering making a move out here, and you really just want somebody who's been through these meetings and you want them in your corner, reach out to me. My info's on the screen here. I work for you, the buyers, not the builders, and I would love to help you actually get this right. Check out these other videos that I chose specifically for you. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.